The memorial cloth is a banner that contains the names of over 4,100 children that didn't make it home from residential school. The NCTR created it back in 2019 to honor and preserve the children that didn't make it home. To see it in person, it can be overwhelming. It's very meaningful, and everyone that sees it is greatly impacted by it. So the cloth is kept here at the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation. We have an archivist on site that ensures that it is cared for.
My name is Preeti Kaur. I'm the Access and Reference Archivist at the NCTR. Working with these objects has influenced me and impacted me in life in general, but definitely within archives, because I'm learning more about different cultures and crafting skills and the way that other people lead their lives in a very artistic way, but also something that is part of everyday life. So working with Indigenous art specifically, I've learned so much more about what's the symbolism behind it, what it means to the people creating that art. And so within my life, I'm learning so much more than what is outside of my own culture and my own heritage. And I'm seeing a lot of similarities between the two as well. So that's just more of a personal note, in that I'm seeing similarities between what the people in my culture and religion believe in. And so that's had a huge impact, and it goes outside of that academic study that I've done within my thesis for archival studies, but this is more of that real life experience that I've gained. By having these cloths and having the names on the cloth itself, we are leaving behind something that is very impactful and something that can be visually seen and creates a deeper impact than just having a background information on children that were lost or just didn't come home, that passed away at the schools. So by having something that's visually prepared and the public is able to see, that really connects to that legacy and the research that is being done.
We consulted with elders and residential school survivors on an appropriate way to memorialize them. So it was determined that a really impactful way would be to create this banner that would include the names, and then when it is carried in at events, it is visible for passersby to look at the names.
In terms of length, the cloth is 50 meters long, so about 164 feet. Once it is folded, ready to be stored for the next time around, it does take 2 people to lift it. So approximately about 2,900 names are listed on the cloth at this time. Of course, we are updating it constantly. The cloth itself doesn't get updated constantly, but the register does. But on this cloth, for instance, that's behind me, there are about 2,900 names. And so the amount of schools that are on there is 141 schools as well. So the information that is gathered comes from the records that are provided to the NCTR by the government, by the churches, vital statistics, for instance, the coroner's reports that we receive as well. So our researchers here will go through names and make sure that the names that they are finding are relevant to what we are researching. So we make sure that were these children lost at the residential schools that they would have attended, and by vetting the names, we can ensure that we have accurate information on that. But also we do verify and make sure we are contacting communities in a respectful way to make sure that we can put the names on the register, and eventually the cloth as well after that. So we have some sort of consultation with the communities, and we can provide access in that way. We don't want to do anything without talking to the communities themselves.
So the cloth has been to Ottawa when it was first unveiled. And then from there, it has been to Musquecheese at the Pope's Apology. It has been to Truth and Reconciliation live youth events. It has been to the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation live broadcast in Ottawa. It has been to different ceremonial events, different significant ceremonial events. It has been to a couple healing gatherings for survivors. It has been to this year's Manitowabi festival where residential school survivors were honored. And most recently, it has been to the Winnipeg Foundation's funding announcement where they gifted the center with $5 million towards a new building.
The way we take care of it ceremonially is we do like to have it smudged and it can't touch the floor, just as a part of a respectful ritual that we are keeping it in a clean way, in a respectful way. These names are not just names, and we see them written on a cloth, we see them written on a register, but they're more than just names. These were children that actually went to these schools. They were real people, and they deserved life just as much as anybody else. Their names are impactful as they're written on the cloth, but the impact really comes from knowing that real people were harmed and real people did not make it home to their parents and their families.